And how long has it been now, Joe? We it's not the longest podcast we haven't been on, but no, we did a live one, right?
Yeah, that
Podcast
was our makeshift podcast last. I guess it was 2 weeks ago already.
2 weeks ago.
Tomorrow will be 2 weeks. Man, time flies. But yeah, we did the live of the Tiguan door with the crazy science project tension pools on there. It was fun.
That was. I learned a ton. I know Brandon was there. He learned a ton. Yeah, we all get better. Welcome everybody. My name is Myke Toledo, along with Joe Garcia from Dent Evo. I'm Myke from Dent Time, in case you didn't know. Maybe. This podcast is podcast 120. I rarely will mention what podcast it is, Joe. Anyways, half the time I don't remember. But anyways, in this featured video, or excuse me, podcast that you guys are watching, we're going to be talking about the electric vehicles, access, generally Teslas right now. Joe's done a few lately. I've done one lately, and it happens to be in one of the worst spots you could possibly have on the Tesla Model Ys. It seems like it's just the Ys. I don't see it I don't remember it being in the 3s, dude. So we'll get to that in a second. So so we're going to show Joe one of Joe's Reels, TikToks, and where he posted it and why he's posting it. And I think it's one of his better videos to date. You'll see why. Not just because he's a good tech, but mainly how he edited, how he showed it. So I'm sure most of you who follow Joe, you've probably already seen it. You've probably already commented on it, but we'll show it publicly here for people who haven't seen it already. And maybe you'll get some tips on how you may be able to video edit your TikTok and Reels and stuff. So how does that sound, Joe?
That sounds good to me. Appreciate that, Myke. Got some viewers already here. What's up, Charlie Station?
What's up, Charlie?
One Shot PDR. Mr. Ron, how's it going?
We got to do a meetup, man. Look at the guys from the meetup coming up, man. Chris Brown, hey, he gave me some love life friggin' advice, dude. He said, "Look, dude, you need to take your chick and give her, just go send her out to the spa, dude." And I was like, "Dude, you are right, dog." This Saturday, dude. This Saturday.
Good advice, man. Yeah.
Thanks, Chris.
Yeah, Chris.
Like,
Chris, I was literally gonna drive out to your place today to deliver your hot box, man. And I'm sorry, dude. I've had it so long, but it's on its way, man. I'm gonna bring it to you. Okay, appreciate it.
You don't want it back, dude.
I want to buy it. I'm trying to get him to just say, Joe, just make me an offer.
You know what they say, dude? Like if you want it back, don't let anybody borrow it, dude.
Yeah, that's true, man.
I'm just kidding.
Well, I'm renting it from him, dude. I'm gonna make it up to him. So.
Look at Dave O. He said he just had a customer drive 6 hours from Ohio to Chicago from a YouTube video, 2020 Tesla. Yep. I think we're all like getting that type of customer. You advertise well and you do real good videos and you show what you're doing. You are definitely going to get that. So welcome, Dave. Thanks, dude.
Dave O definitely does that, man. Very specific, and I can see why somebody would drive that far just to have you work on that, Dave. That's awesome, dude.
Yeah,
it's great.
I honestly didn't think we would have that many viewers watching us live because one, we never really advertise when we're gonna friggin' like go on. They kind of know we're gonna go on within 2 weeks of that. Today's Monday Night Football. Good thing it's none of my teams because we wouldn't be having this podcast. So
yeah, no kidding. Who's playing today?
Seattle Seahawks and Denver Broncos.
Broncos.
It should be interesting. So I'm sure if ladies and gentlemen, if you can't watch all this, you can rewatch it. So we ain't mad at you. We know you got a family, but I'm sure you want to hear and we got some video too, guys, that we're gonna show. So morning, Facebook users. I bet you that is Aaron because he's saying morning, gents, dude.
Yeah,
right?
He's ahead of.
I bet you that's Aaron in Australia, dude. So
yeah, it could be Aaron. Horacio, what's up? How you doing?
We are overdue for a SoCal meet, dude. Okay, so Joe, let's talk about some electric vehicles, man. They are becoming so common, and everybody knows that. We're I would say out of 10 cars you're fixing, maybe I'm in California, so I'm going to say a minimum of 2, probably 3 out of 10 cars I'm fixing are Teslas. And that's a pretty good mix, dude.
That's significant.
Yeah. So 30%, let's just say 30% out of my 70% of or 100% of the cars are Teslas. And it seems like it's going a little bit higher every year. What's your thoughts on fixing those Teslas, dude?
I agree, man. There's a lot more of them now, a lot more electric vehicles in general, but many of them being Teslas, and particularly the 3s and Ys. I mean, I got 2 inquiries today about a couple, about one was a 3 and one was a Y. And, so it's the way it works now. And I wonder how other states are. You think the other states are getting as many Teslas, Myke?
I think I definitely think I don't think they're getting as many as California is, but I definitely know it's growing. I definitely know it's getting higher and higher. Okay, I'm pulling up a clip right now, or at least a photo, real quick, guys, and let me just add it there to this album here, and then we can get the show on the road. So let me pull that up here. Okay.
Keith Nowicki in New Jersey says he does one Tesla a month. So
he does 1 Tesla a month.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, listen, I'm going to say it's going to double within the next year or two. I just really, I personally think that's just the way it's going to go. So, oops, kicked myself out here. I'm going to go right here, Joe, if you don't mind.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll put you. I don't know where I put there. Anyways, here is the inside of a Y, okay? Left rear quarter panel. I'm not sure if you guys can really get that, but here is down here on the bottom corner. Now, you guys know that those orange cables, right? Are what, Joe?
High voltage, baby.
High voltage, right?
Be careful.
This is the left rear quarter. Inside you're looking, and if you look just above over here, we see that little what is that? What's that QR code right there?
Yes.
That's where the plate's at. Okay. There's a plate that blocks this. I'm going to show you which car it is. I mean, what it is. This is the area I'm talking about on the Model Y. Okay. That is sealed. So if you have not completely sealed, I mean, it is super thin. It's almost like the front fender of the Y and 3. You get a dent, and actually goes a little bit further. You get a dent in this section on that body line, like I had, Joe, you had. It's a booger, man. You don't have any real leverage from up top, like right here. You have some, but not great. So let me ask you this, Joe. Do you there you are. Do you power down the vehicle if you're in that section of that area?
You know what, man? I've yet to be honest, in that spot there. I haven't. I always find a way out of it, and not saying I'm doing it unsafely, but I did a Model S a couple weeks ago, and it was right there. In fact, I took video of it. I'll post it the next week or so, but it was right there under the charge port, right? But where the dent was at, and there was a little opening in the brace, and I was able to get a tool in there to fix it and not have to come anywhere close to the orange cables or the charge port from the inside of the left quarter panel. So, I mean, I guess I could have charged more and powered it down, but I knew that I wasn't going to be prying against any of those. So to answer your question in a roundabout way, no, I really don't power them down as often as I thought I would.
Yep, I agree the same way. John, my lead tech, says now that that's an older photo, but that's not the photo I worked on. That was Doug Hillius. He sent me, that's courteous of him to send me that photos. And I said, Doug, because he works on Teslas every single day. All right. And he said, Myke, you have 2 chances, slim and none. I'm going to give you some photos. That dent you have is a tough. I'm going to show you the dent I'm doing. I'm editing a little TikTok video I didn't really film the whole repair, so I'm not sure I'll have enough to explain on Dent Trainer, but I'll explain it here. But anyhow, John says that now there's like it's even a thicker protection around those cables now, so it's very, very unlikely you'll poke it. But don't take that saying Myke says I didn't tell you to do that. It's still safety is precaution. So I agree too, Joe. I don't sit there and I don't want to power down the vehicle, but in this case, because it's an insurance pay, I did charge for it, but I didn't have to power it down. So I did it just in case. I didn't want to all of a sudden say, "Oh, I got to charge."
Dude, I think when in doubt, power down, man. That makes a difference too, man. I mean, my customer that I just described on that Model S. It was pay out of pocket, So, and I'm sure he would have if I had advised him that we need to power down. Then he probably would have ponied up for it, and I would have if I thought it was a safety issue, but it wasn't. And but when in doubt, I think absolutely you should power down. Same thing goes for a video you're going to show in a minute here of mine, of another electric vehicle. This was a Chevy Volt, and in the footage I show there's actually a cable. They're not orange on the Chevy Volt, mind you, it's black, and it's actually the cable where it's the emergency cutoff cable where the firefighters can use the diagonal cutters and clip the power line and to shut off quickly power down the vehicle. And
yeah, Dave says that the new, I'm sorry, I mean, he just says that the new ones have to have the conduit around it. So that's what John was saying.
That's great. So,
yeah. Anyways, do you want to go ahead? I'm saying, I mean to cut you off, Joe. I apologize about that. So, this dent, look at that dent, dude. I hate that part over there in the corner, bro. That is just. So go ahead and walk us through here, dude. So you're telling me, is there a certain part you want me to go, or just kind of just go through?
No, it's okay. You can just play it, man. You can just play it. Yeah. No, I did a little combination glue tension pull, both perpendicular and laterally from the side, and that allowed me to create tension among the panel, so that I could move the metal cleaner when I got a tool back there. I ended up using a Stanliner. I don't even know what they call that tool, man. It's like kind of
a pirate hook.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
It looks like a sprinkler head tool.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
But the nice thing about that tool, and I put a tiny layer of tape on it, cloth tape on it, and it allowed me to get in there and just gently twist and get some leverage right at the very edge, almost at the very edge of that deepest part of the kink. And while I just applied a little bit of pressure simultaneously with the glue tension on there, both sideways and perpendicularly, the whole thing just started to move out. And you can kind of see that in the video, in the time lapse. But it's amazing how much we can do now because of these little techniques.
I see it releasing right there.
Yeah.
So you're pulling tension, and then you're pushing from that corner right there. Did you have any protection on that tool, or because obviously it looked like it was starting to come out pretty clean without poking it,
Yeah.
Real quick.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Yeah.
No, to answer your question, I did have a thin layer of Tessa tape on there, the cloth tape, but that first push.
Oh, there you do. Yeah, you do.
There?
Okay, yeah. I got it.
That first push. Now I was mainly using the bend on it, not the tip of the tool, but mostly the bend, and then also the just the parallel portion of the tool to put pressure on there. I did put like a little high spot that I didn't want to put on there, but I was able to correct it afterwards. But I got the bulk of that out to cleanly move that panel back out, and then I actually used one of the Daniel Grom motorcycle tools, motorcycle tank bars, the one that just has that slow kind of bend, real gradual. I don't know if you remember that one.
Yeah.
And with a little plastic, like a peak tip. And that's how I got the very, very edge of that deepest part of the kink there. And I was able to cleanly move it without putting a bunch of sharp outies or anything. And once I got that part out, Myke, I was able to just kind of move metal around, and then I could work through one of the tail lamp grommets, you know, where the
Yeah.
bolts go, or not
Yeah.
the bolts, but where the peg of the tail lamp goes.
Yeah.
I was able to pull one of those grommets out. I was previously using that with an S hook through it for a strap for right there where I was strapped to the truck. And that was just a bike tie down with some, you know, just moderate tension pulled on it. But I pulled that off and then worked through there with another stand liner tool. It's called a double bend.
Well, I don't think people understand, Joe, how much, like, as a veteran tech, I can look at this dent and go, there's a lot going on here. Okay. As a, you know, a person who might not have as much experience, I'm going to pause it right here. Okay. Because what I want to zoom in is you've got a nice crease right there. You've got a crease to the left, to the right of it, dude. You've got tension that's going every which way but loose up top and then to the corner of that. Yeah. Each one of that is sections that would take you an immense amount of time. So how long did this take you? I mean, I'm guessing, if this was me, hold on, let me guess though. Okay. I don't know. You didn't tell me how long you took on this. Yeah. I'm going to say 6 hours, dude.
It took me a little longer, which is probably not surprising to the people who know me, you know?
Yeah.
But I started at around 9 o'clock and ended at around 6:30 in the evening, all at her place. She had an interval where I had to button everything up, and she had to go pick up her doggy from the vet before they closed at 5 o'clock. And, you know, so I basically had to put everything back together before the dent was done. And to be honest with you, she was happy with it like 3 hours before I was even done with it. But, you know, I wanted to make it look really nice because I knew I wanted to make a video out of it.
Well, you could tell that you did a hell of a job. I mean, you took your time on that as usual. Speaking of that, you were actually going to be coming my neck of the woods. I invited you to come and do a tag team with a hail car with me.
Yeah, man.
Normally I would try to do it myself. I would do it myself, but I'm training as well, and I'm just short on time. And, you know, and as you guys know, I devote a lot of my time with training people. I very rarely will try to work on vehicles and try to train at the same time. That's just not the way I roll. However, during this training course with the hail car, that these guys are good enough that they can work on this hail car with us. So that's going to be an awesome treat for them.
That's cool, man.
I want to go back to that video, Joe, because I also want to touch base on how you edited the video. Like, let's play it in real time. And this is something I've been preaching to a lot of people about the videos, about what they do is, what's up, Tim? Is that if you want to know how good your video is, or if you want to know if it's engaging or not, play it with no sound, right? You put a little extra thing on there, which you told me last time we were doing this podcast, right? You said, hey, there's captions there, and you're starting to see more and more people use captions, which is important. I believe if you're going to talk and if you're going to do some narration, captions are a must. I'm going to play that video one more time. We slowed it down. We're talking through it. Let's just watch it. There's no sound. You do have sound in the video, but let's watch it without sound. Okay. So let's take a look at what we got here. All right. I'm going to play that here, and then we'll take ourselves out. Here we go. Like I said, I play a video back and I watch it. Even without those words, it's super interesting. How long is this video, Joe?
It's 60 seconds, 1 minute. I was trying for 59 seconds, but yeah.
I'm gonna show. I think you know why this video is so engaging. Okay. Besides the text, even if you didn't have the text in there, Joe, which I love the 5-star review thing too. Thanks. It just It just stamps friggin' saying, you can trust me.
Yeah. And that was her review too, by the way.
So here you go. Why? You give me an idea why you made that video.
These are the kind of jobs I like to do, Myke. I honestly enjoy doing those types of repairs. I mean, at this point in my career, it's challenging. It's really challenging because it's mobile. It's very challenging because these are things we've talked on about this in past episodes where I kind of have to scout them out beforehand, and really it really relies heavily on the framework of like what we talk about all the time, on how we present and who we're presenting to, and then how we evaluate each opportunity that comes our way. We all get pictures of dents like that. I know it. I know all you guys do. In my case, I don't fix all of them, because most of them, they don't see the magic, but sometimes, the planets align, and I'm trying to get it to where it happens more often now. And it is. But I want to make those videos because I want more of those jobs. I mean, 3 of those a week are fine. I make a great living, a very comfortable existence doing 3 of those a week, man. And
Yeah.
I mean, and then everything else is just icing on the cake, door dings and stuff. I still do door dings and stuff, but that's low hanging fruit. There's more competition for door dings, quite frankly. But but yeah, that's why I make those videos, and I want to make them as concise as possible and as bold and unapologetic about what I'm trying to show, and quick.
Yep. There you go. I think that's what I was looking for. I think it's quick. And what's up, Bobby? How you doing, man?
Hi, Bobby.
Adam, what's going on? I just
Adam
gotta
Jones.
acknowledge some people. People are saying you had a good repair. You had an A-OK repair. So
thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Jeffrey, I have a comment there. He says it's possible to read the caption and watch the work being done at the same time. Jeffrey, that's the point, is because what it does is going to hold your attention. You probably rewatch it because you want to know exactly what he says. However, you have to also understand, Jeffrey, he is actually voicing that too as well. So he has a voiceover as well. So if you're watching it and listening, you won't need to read the captions. But if you happen to be scrolling and you are in bed, which a lot of people are, believe it or not, they will be reading the captions. So there's a purpose for captions. I think it's going to work for Joe, and I think it works for many people, and it is proven to be very effective and hold the scroll, right? You stop the scroll.
That's the idea. You are correct, Myke, and you're right too, Jeffrey, because it's impossible to see everything, and that's the whole idea. Is because we have like right now at this very moment in time, what's the most coveted commodity that we could all want, anybody could want, and that's attention, right? We're all battling for attention online. And 5 years ago, 10 years ago, it was a lot easier to get people to watch your 5-minute PDR video, whereas now, man, it's like if you don't grab their attention for like a couple seconds, you're gone. They've scrolled on to the next one. And
that's right.
So my point of putting the letters there, or the words, the captions, is because on one reason is, Myke and I have talked about this many times. It's like, Myke, you actually had advised me. It's like, dude, Joe, you said if your video doesn't pass the sound test, then it's going to be less viewable. Like, if, in other words, if people watch it with this, because remember, a lot of people are watching with the sound off or very low, or maybe it's loud in their environment, and so they can't always hear you. And I'm putting voiceovers in mine, and so they're not listening to very important aspects of that I want them to hear. When somebody sees that big old train wreck of a repair there, and the car's just completely taken apart, I think that's probably shocking to somebody to see that.
It is.
But I want them to see that because I want to I want to get their attention, grab their attention. And then I also want them to know that we can work with their insurance carrier. with this. So and if they don't hear me say that because the sound is off, then I wanted to say that in that caption there.
That's right.
And boldly. And I want all that to come through. And you're right about it being impossible for them to read it or see the work. And, if they're reading the caption, but my hopes are that they'll see something and that it'll grab their attention enough that they'll watch it again. So like maybe the first time around, it's only a minute long, so it doesn't take long. And I try to keep movement through every second, every millisecond, really. And those words are helping to keep movement and activity on the screen. So
that's right. I think that, and if you look at YouTube, right, go look at YouTube's and you look at the thumbnails, and they got the moving thumbnails, and you're looking to see, hey, wait, what are you doing? Basically, you're looking unconsciously saying, I'm looking for something that's worth invested my time to click on it. Right. Okay. So not only the title that you're looking for, but that first 10, 15 seconds, and it doesn't play any sound. Now YouTube says you can engage the sound now if you want, but they're trying to advertise for that. Like you said, it's attention, right? And they're trying to get the attention. If you don't have it within the first, it's not even 3 seconds. I don't even think you got that, dude. You got 1 second, and then boom, you're going to move to a different second. I saw that your video is getting more fast pace, but not so fast that they don't know what they're looking at. You know what I mean? Like some people go so fast that it messes you up. You're like, that's just mumbo. You know what I mean?
And I think I've done that too. And I've made that mistake. But I always question, I never know how other people are going to perceive my video. And I think that's what the message here too, guys, is like, just put it out there. And if it doesn't, if it misses the mark, do another one. And I mean, this is the result of, for whatever it's worth. I mean, whatever's there and how people perceive it on my video, the latest video, that's after doing many, many videos and missing the mark plenty of times, Yep. And lastly, like the other thing that's important here is, remember, I really don't think consumers out there are watching these videos unless they've got that problem right now. Then they're going to be all ears, and they're going to be watching very intently. So I put out each of those videos each time, Myke, like as if somebody right now just got dented, and they're going to see this right now. And so, and that's the importance of consistency and volume. I put them out every once or every 2 weeks, and that's fast for me, but I'm trying to get it to where I can do more and more, and doing them so brief and adding these tools like the captions.
I think it's giving you actually an opening, Joe, because you were like, you like to edit it, like I do. I still enjoy editing, don't get me wrong, but I don't like editing long videos anymore. It's just, even myself, before all this quick video came out in TikTok, I was kind of getting burnt out doing the 5, 10 minute, 15-minute videos and stuff like that, because there's so much footage and so much to cut. And you guys know, when you're learning PDR, you technically need that, but the YouTube crowd was, I want to say, mainly ungrateful. You know what I mean? Because they started turning into like, why didn't you show me this? Why didn't you show me that? And it kind of a little bit turned me off there. So I went more showing on Dent Trainer.
Yeah.
But I also like showing just the highlights of the repairs, right? And I think to some that's enough for them to get an idea. The veterans, for the newbies, it's not enough. I mean, it looks easier. You don't know all the involvement. You don't know the Pokemans. And for these, and for the people who are learning, okay. And I said to my students now, I said, there's 2 people that you can let into the party, dude. Okay. And you always, when you're doing a dance, I consider it's a PDR party, right? So you have Mr. Clean, which is you, Joe, right? And then there's the other person that wants to come into the party, and they crash the party, and you don't want them to come to the party. The other person's called Chewy.
Okay.
Right?
Chewy.
As soon as Chewy gets in the party, it is hard to get Chewy out, dude, because he's big, he's obnoxious. It takes a lot to get Chewy out of your repair, right? So don't invite Chewy If you don't want Chewy in your PDR party, bring Mr. Clean, but go slow. You're gonna have to go slow.
Yeah.
And that's what you're known for, Joe. You are probably one of the most patient under the cover. I've worked with you many times, and you are very, very patient on that. Even me, sometimes I'm like, all right, Joe, when are we going to get this? When are we going to do this, Joe? You know what I mean? You and I both have different styles, but we think the same way. So that is super interesting on that. So I'm going to go back to the Tesla one, not the blue one. Well, not the blue one, but mine. Let's go back here. You guys can just be patient with me here. So let's go to this one, okay? You guys don't mind here. Let's see, how did I do that one? Okay. So here's this dent in this paint damage right here.
Yeah, that's
very bad spot, very, very sharp.
Yeah.
Not easy, right? Kind of goes
deceivingly bad.
Deceivingly bad. Yeah. And I actually thought that was going to be open. I was like, okay, we're going to go pull the bumper off. We'll go underneath it, or we'll go through the power port, and we'll be able to do it that way. Okay.
Right.
Here's another shot of it. Here's what we started working with right here. Okay.
Yeah. Nice access at first, right?
Yeah. Nice access, dude. That part right there is really hard. Now, what I did, the only tool I could really get access right there, Joe, was what do you think? Was what tool?
Was that an ultra thin whale tail?
It's ultra thin whale tail, dude.
Yeah, from Dentcraft, right?
From Dentcraft. Yeah. And heat.
Yep.
Taped tool. And that's how I was able to get it away. Some of you guys might say, well, what about if you made an access point underneath? Nope. You weren't going to get it. You're going to go right to the brace.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's almost like the brace is like perpendicular to that panel and vertical, right?
Yeah.
It's like this big obstruction, and that crease went right through it, Myke. It was a tough spot.
It went right through it.
Wow,
here's
man.
After we fix the bumper. Here's the now, guys. It is. I'm gonna show you the truth in a second, dude. Okay. See that crease? That crease was deep. Okay. Right in the middle. Okay. There's the little bit left.
Yeah.
I was stuck in a rock in a hard place here. It was either really micro crack in the paint, or just trying to just as flat as I could. I color sanded it a bit. I got most of it out. My paint guy, my bumper guy, painted the bumper. It came out great. Really, really clean.
Came out real clean.
But here's the truth, guys. I'm not going to bullcrap you guys here. You can see the little bit. You keep in mind, I only could get a whale tail in there. I could only get a whale tail in there, and I did have some flaws. Okay. I'm not afraid to show. I am not going to throw my ego around and go, it came out perfect, and not show you the true reflection of that.
Right.
But all I can say is that I did my best, and I left it alone, pulled the bumper off twice just to mess with it some more, and had to walk away with it. Now, this is an insurance repair, and the reason why he didn't end up going to the body shop is because he did not want to repaint that panel. So there was a little bit of a scratch. I was able to get the scratch out. I will talk more about that later on, and you will see the full process of how that was repaired, for even the bumper repair. So you can see that later on. So
fantastic job on that one, Myke. You guys did a great job, and I know that customer was thrilled. And that's the thing. That's the other side of this, is that like there's no perfect repair, especially when you're getting into these complex scenarios, man. It's impossible to do them perfect, but yet even with those little imperfections, and mind you, your lighting in your shop is about the most unforgiving lighting you can have. Whereas the garage where I was doing that Chevy Volt, it was very dim lit in there. And I, trust me, I capitalized on that, dude, but the thing is, even with those little imperfections, that repair is far superior to repainting, especially for the client who absolutely doesn't want to paint their car and doesn't want to a record on that. So
no, it's not a conversation piece anymore. That's for sure. The main thing
yeah,
is to keep the resale value. When they sell it, nobody's going to go, hey, I need some money off this thing. This thing's damaged,
yeah,
but
right.
like I said, Joe and I are here. We're honest PDR techs. Not afraid to tell you guys my repairs don't always come out perfect. Very rare it'll come out absolutely perfect anyways, but the main thing is that 90%. I tell customers my 90%, excuse me, my 100% or my 90% may look like 100% to you 9 out of 10 times. Okay. We just have to be perfectionists so you don't have to be one.
There you go.
I'm very, very truthful. I don't over promise anybody. They're going there. Are you kidding me? This is 90% or this is 85%. This is 80%. Yeah. This looks done to me.
I told you like that. My customer was happy 3 hours before I was even done. I felt almost guilty. Like I was monopolizing her time by, like making it an ego thing, but she had agreed, to let me video it. And, I didn't want to video it like looking like crud, to me. But,
yeah. No.
right.
Dave has an interesting point. He says, anyone have an explanation why it's always Tesla quarter pounds that have that nasty blind spot or something? So I think what he's referring to is that area specifically is always getting whacked. And then in the back, the trunk area is always getting whacked with all the sensors and with all the cameras.
Yeah.
People still hit the same area.
Yeah.
All the time, dude. I think
Dave
that's
knows,
one of the most areas.
Yeah. Dave gets a lot of Teslas. I have a feeling over in Chicago where he's at. So I bet there's a lot there. Yeah. These cars have their vulnerable spots, don't they? Where they get hit more often.
Yep. It's almost inevitable that, your Tesla repairs, or, those areas, the front fender, the front forward fenders, those are pretty nasty. Actually, I'll just pull that up for the people who didn't notice that when you and I, we talked about this too before, Joe. So let's pull it up here. Let's see here. So here are some of the most common Tesla bracing, right?
Yep.
This before I even knew the quarter panel part, but you guys see the bracing here, right? And this is my little video. Here's the bracing on the front fender. It's not coming out super clean, but you can see that front fender that is blocked from that middle part over to the left.
By the way, you guys, a little tech tip here, that fender on the Model 3s and Ys, where that blocked area is, I'm sure some of you guys already know this, but that brace, you can bend it back just a little bit to get access and then bend it back where it belongs.
Wait a minute. Are you talking the front fender or the rear quarter panel?
Front fender.
Oh, okay, cool.
I thought you were talking about that, but just letting you know.
Yeah. There's what I'm talking about right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
On the front fender. Yeah.
This is another common problem right here, right? You get the dent right across the body line, right? Or higher. Mm-hmm. You're taking the door panel off, or you're slipping a tool where the door handle's at. I'm sure you've done that too, Joe.
Yes.
Okay? Mm-hmm. You can drop the door jamb in there too as well, and hopefully slide a tool. Sometimes you get a 50-50 chance of being able to do that, but there's some bracing on that. It's the most common one that we deal with clients.
Yes.
We're dealing with aluminum too on that section. And then here's the most troubling part right there on that front fender. So this part is a real booger.
It's right up against the skin, right?
Right above the skin. So, I do go over this thoroughly on Dent Trainer. So if you guys want to see that, you guys can see how I go over that. And then you can download these photos for yourself, because what I do is I send these photos to my clients like this.
Yep. So,
and they're like, oh, I didn't realize there was a brace right there. It's like, yep. I go, that's why you have to either come in, or, this is why we're charging a little bit more than you thought, because it's aluminum and it's braced and it's not a very easy area to access. So these are just different things I created that you can have too as well. I put a little video here too, and just kind of showing the assessments of whatnot. Now I need to update it though, because that quarter panel, it doesn't show it in these diagrams that there's a brace right there. So this is something I overlooked, and I'll have to update it. So this is something I created in my video.
Well, you know, I mean, look, they're helpful. They're super helpful, because it really gives you obviously more perspective, but it gives your prospect perspective too. And they realize your stuff, in and like that's what you were dealing with right there, that bend, right from that where that wheel well basically just 90s right there and folds into the
this is a model. This is a
quarter.
Model 3 right here, dudes. I think so. It doesn't like significantly jump out at you and say, "Yeah, there's a plate against that." You know what I mean? So, but anyways, so that was that on that.
Yeah, those are tough, man. Great job on those.
So, anything else you want to add to this little podcast here that people can be not that putting like, hey, don't work on Teslas. I'm just showing you, I'm just telling you guys what to look for, what's involved, kind of a little bit about your videos. I'm actually editing a video for Dent Trainer 2 right now. It's like some tips on, walking through the whole video edit and showing you guys how I edit. I will be doing the same thing if you guys are going to Mobile Tech Expo. I actually will be speaking there on that topic and doing a full demo there too as well, live on that. So stay tuned on that. You guys have any questions? Go ahead and shoot them right now. We'll be more than happy. It's question time and whatnot. So I don't have a lot to say on this podcast because we covered a lot. So if you guys have anything extra to say, please do. And Joe?
Yeah. Well, Dave O says every Tesla damage when they go to the Tesla certified body shop, it's always a minimum $2,000. Everyone charge accordingly. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man.
That by the way, that estimate that repair was $2,500. So
I can see why, man.
That repair.
I can see why. That's awesome. That's great money, and it's a great, highly valuable result that they're getting out of that. They didn't have to paint it, man. And they didn't have to leave it at a body shop for a bunch of, for a couple of weeks or more, Yeah.
Bobby, that Tesla diagrams and all that is for download on Dent Trainer. So go on there, go check out that Tesla repair. It goes in depth too on a lot of different things. So I think you'll like it. It even shows like the power down parts, like, where the high voltage, how the cable runs through the whole car. So you can check that out too. Very nice. How do we get the diagrams? I think I just answered that, right, Nicholas? To go to denttrainer.com, check out that Tesla. You'll see that there. Okay. Let's see here. Next level, Joe.
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, he is, dude.
Yep. Appreciate that, man. I have to live up to the Dent Evolution name, Yeah. I kind of painted myself into a corner there with that name. I should have named it Dent Caveman.
Dent Caveman, yeah. Dent Caveman. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I guess we're pretty quiet here. I just, it's one of our podcasts here. We thought, Joe did a couple hard dents and he was showing me his. And I was like, we should talk about this because this really drove me nuts, man.
When you ran into that issue on that quarter panel on the Model 3, was it? The blue car? Was that a 3 or a Y?
It's a Y, but that blue one's actually Doug's diagram that he sent me to give me a heads up. Then I contacted you and you ran into the same thing and you showed me your photos, right?
Yes.
And video. So
yeah, and so we've been talking about this for a while. I mean, around this time last year is when you started coming up with those awesome X-ray diagrams and the photos and stuff. And so right around that time, I got a Model Y as well, same area, right behind the wheel, but on the passenger quarter panel. So it's braced up the same way. And yes, you can access it through the same way too. And so I made those videos and specifically with you in mind, because we were talking about it at the time. There's the one right there. So it's funny that we're having this conversation and I was able to refer to that because now what I'm doing.
For some reason, I don't know why I didn't remember that, dude.
Well, what it was you sent me a message saying, Joe, I found great access on this quarter panel and check it out. And I said, well,
That's
thanks,
right.
Myke, for keeping me in the loop. But I told you that a year ago, dude.
That is true, dude. That's true. I'm like, oh, I feel like an idiot, dude. You know.
No, man. Dude, you can keep me in the loop on when you find new access on these cars, man. By all means, keep me in the loop,
I was
and we'll
excited
come
because
on here and share it too with these guys.
I found like a honey hole here, dude. I was like,
You
yeah, I
did?
got access.
No, man.
Oh, I got access. I got this much access, dude.
It's access, but it's tough, man. It definitely is tough, especially with that deep crease, man.
Yeah.
Like most of mine, I glued out on that white one that you just showed. I slide hammered a lot of that out, and then whatever was left, I did the same thing as you, but I didn't have that sharp crease. Josh, you want to see the mobile my setup? It's a mess, dude. It looks good from the outside.
Stay tuned Thursday. You're gonna see Joe's. Okay, he's gonna be over at the shop, at my shop, and we're gonna do quite a few lives. We're gonna show our hail repair. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, it's a 2000. What year did I tell you was, Joe?
I think it was a 20. Was it? Let me look at our text.
John Trice says, I think we need a PDR class in San Diego, a Tesla PDR class.
Yeah,
I think you just need an excuse to come to San Diego, John.
Come on down, John.
John Trice, man. He's, I think I always say that, but John Trice is one of my first students, like way back in the early 2000s, man. So
really,
yeah.
I've never met John. I've heard his name.
Mr. Trice, one of the nicest, soft-spoken guys in the world. He won't go anywhere though, because it's hard to get him to go somewhere. Leave your house, John. Come out to San Diego.
Come to San Diego, man.
Yeah. So anyways, I think it's a 2000. It's not a very old car, dude. I mean, newer car. It's like 2015, 16, something like that. I wrote it up for $5,800, dude. Not a terrible hail car. It's just some decent shots from Texas, John, from Texas. And anyways, I was scared that it was going to total it, but what happens is that the blue book value of these cars have jumped up $2,000 or $3,000, and so it kept it from being totaled. And on top of it, John, you're gonna freaking love this, dude. On top of it, I got to prove they wrote the estimate. Not only did they write it right, they wrote it for more.
Awesome,
so
man. Right,
$6,300 we got for that, Joe.
Very nice, Myke. Very nice. It's a good surprise. So so we often talk about the insurance experience and dealing with the adjusters, and as do a lot of people in our industry, and it always sounds like hell, doesn't it? Like I go on the Facebook groups and I'm reading like what these guys are dealing with. It's like, oh my God, man. And here's the other side of that, dude, is like sometimes you come out ahead. Sometimes they see it's a win-win. I mean, we're trying to tell them that because there's just so many advantages to doing PDR, going PDR, and even for the insurance companies, because, even at that price, they save money, right?
Yeah. It's just like, text messaging. To me personally, it's communication, right? And how prepared are you to help your client understand the preparation that they are going to go through? Because if, I had a client that has a current car in there right now, a Tesla, and they're like, okay, Myke, I'm going to drop it off. So how fast can you get it done? And I was like, well, I can get it done in 2 days. It's your insurance that's going to take long.
Yes.
Okay. So as soon as they approve it, that we can get going. I was like, as long as your insurance is on the ball, right? I go, don't expect them to approve it between 2 to 5 days. That's generally the average, right? Luckily, their insurance, came the next day and they approved it and it was good to go. But they wanted the car. What happens? We got done faster, Joe. Then the insurance check came, right? Yeah. He's going, can I get my car? You guys got approval for your check. And I was like, sorry, I can't release the car until I have my check in hand. So I've been done with the car for 3 days now. Yeah. He just wants his car, and I don't blame him, but I can't release the vehicle until payment's rendered. So
yeah. It's it's a dance, and that goes back to the framework, the word that you always use, Myke. You know, having the framework within your program to be able to not only expedite this to, you know, from A to Z, but also having the, you know, the patience to deal with it all, you know?
Yeah. Joshua says Dent Ops is helping guys make more money, and that is true.
Yeah.
I don't use Dent Ops every time, only when I feel iffy about the repair and I'm already smelling that this adjuster is going to give me a hard time. I will do Dent Ops. So
Right.
I haven't, knock on wood, had to use Dent Ops for about the last four, insurance jobs.
Right.
But it is hella worth it. So if you have not been on Dent Ops before, they generally will write it up higher if you don't have enough. However, if you write a big hat and heavy estimate, they may. It's definitely, it can be sometimes that they'll write it lower than that. But you got to keep in mind that they are writing it in layman's terms for the insurance people to understand, which is in generally CCC. So it's their lingo, for them to help them understand, because if you throw them a big fat Mobile Tech RX estimate, it may not make sense to them. They don't know how to decipher that, and they might decline it. So that's generally what you have to look out for when you're doing that.
You know, that may be the future for us PDR technicians, and, you know, is using Mitchell or CCC1, as Ron Holland is asking here. He asks, is everybody using the Mobile Tech RX for estimates? And we're both using Mobile Tech RX, Ron, Myke and I. And yeah, exactly. It's most of the time it seems to be okay. But there's some of those adjusters that just want to see it in a conventional looking estimate.
This might be a topic for another time though, Joe, but I might down the line invest in being trained in CCC. So you know what I mean? I feel like
smart, dude.
I feel like that's just that is the kind of the future for my shop if I'm going to grow that way, and just automatically let's just write it that way. You know what I mean?
I think it's inevitable, dude. And I think it's like learning a language, you know?
Yeah.
We got to learn to speak their language. And which leads me to asking a question to you, Myke. You know, you mentioned, you know, you haven't had to use, you know, third party services like Dent Ops to scrub the estimate and show a conventional estimate side by side. So what is your program? Are you doing that through a verbal phone call with the adjuster? Are you doing it in person? Are you doing it through text, email? How's that work?
Yeah, so of all the above, to be honest with you, Joshua. Yeah, DentMate is another excellent software program. So if you guys are, you know, looking for something really affordable, I would definitely consider DentMate as well. So yeah, Joshua, thanks for bringing that up. To answer your question, Joe, yeah, all the above. Generally, the insurance adjuster wants to talk to me. I want to talk to them too. Yeah, it's all over the board, Joe. So you don't know, you know, every insurance company deals with the way the claim differently. So
yeah, that's the truth, man.
This one, like, he comes to my shop and I thought he was going to cut a check right then and there, which 90% of them do. And he goes, "Oh, we're going to mail you a check." I'm like, dude, I'm ready to go, man. Like we pretty much almost got the car ready. Yeah. And he says, "No, that's not how we do things." But the last Progressive insurance guy did. So
it's same insurance company, but different protocol. Yeah.
I was like, okay, well, you know what? You're just making your client mad, dude. You know, but here's the deal. If you guys have to go through insurance and your client has rental car insurance, tell them to get the rental car insurance, because it will speed up the process. You know why? Yes. Because the insurance company is paying for it. They want to get them out of that rental car as fast as possible. So if you say, "Hey, I'm done," but you're taking your time giving me your check, that they'll be like, "Okay, well, we'll overnight it for you because we want to get our client out of the rental car." So
Myke, that is brilliant. And that is exactly, I just had this conversation with an owner of a local collision center here, independently owned. And this gentleman, you know, in short, he he's very aggressive with his, dealing with the adjusters, and he went to training recently in I think Colorado, he said, and that's precisely what they told him. It's like, that's how you light a fire under their ass.
Oh,
is
really?
by making sure that you inform your customer to, basically ask for all the bells and whistles, including the rental car, because those are going to take priority over the other claims. Here I've been doing it the wrong way. I've been trying to, sweet talk the adjuster and, say, well, look, my customer is not going to need a rental car. They're not going to need, all the things that they would need, with body shop, and it's not going to take up space in my
Right.
shop, and that just puts you on the back of the line.
That's right. So I realized that I was a mental note. I was doing that because I was realizing that the client with the rental car, they were like, okay, we want to get that rental car, da, da, da. As soon as they start doing it, I was like, wait a minute. Aha. So this is what they're doing. Because you could say, dude, not even you saying, oh, I'm going to hold the storage fee. They will say, you know what they say? Give that bill to your client.
Oh, wow.
That's what they're saying now, dude. They're saying, wait, well, you can put that on your client's bill, not us.
Wow, man.
I'm like, wait a minute. We're waiting on you, man. So it's just, I try to tell the customer, just take the rental car, even though you don't need it. It's just a tool for you to get your car back quicker. So, anyhow, that's
it's a dance, man. I think the more seat time we have with it, we're going to get better and better. And that's what I think the message we're trying to share with the viewers here is like, because I know you guys are dealing with this too, some varying degrees, and it's no longer a mystery, but there is a learning curve, and like we're learning the language basically.
Yeah, and you know what, Joe? There's a hood coming in there that John's doing for $1,200, dude. So yeah, you'll see that. Customer pay, no insurance. They just want to get it done, dude. So
it's good, man. That's good. We're turning the corner, dude. We really are.
We are. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us again, along with Joe Garcia on Dent Evo. Go check him out, Dent Evo. My name is Myke Toledo, and check me out at Dent Time. Don't forget to check out denttrainer.com. You guys saw that Tesla diagrams and stuff. There's a lot in there for you. So if you have never been in there, check that out, denttrainer.com. We'll see you guys on the next podcast. Have a good night and day. See you guys.
Thanks, guys.